Hi there, it's Levi Jenkins. My student number is 17080541. This will be my presentation for Specialised Ensemble Skills. I'm sorry for the quality of the recording. It has been done on my phone due to COVID-19, so we're in shutdown and my laptop decided it doesn't want to work. Therefore, all the access I had right now. In this, I'll be covering the 3 units we've done in the past term, which was recording a song in Rockfield Studios, an original, then going to do music to picture, and we did a scene from Kill Bill Showdown, and then we did Big Band, which was a performance ensemble between our band meeting up with musicians such as violinists and cello players and trumpets and getting everyone involved. However, pardon me. However, the big band assessment didn't go quite as planned. We had a problem with COVID-19 being a thing, therefore we're on lockdown and we're not allowed to meet up. So the actual assessment had to be cancelled. However, we did do one or two practices which were enjoyed. We did If You Leave Me Now and Live and Let Die within practice in our band. I was lead on If You Leave Me Now, and Luke was lead on Live and Let Die, and I was going to sing harmony on that piece. We worked well as a group instantly, chugged through it. We decided, due to it being different to most when we've done like LPW practices and things in the past, we listen to the song and you jam it all the way through. Because the way it was going to be done with meeting up with people, we wouldn't be able to practice beforehand as such, and had to be exactly timed, so we lined up with them perfectly and did the song as it should be. We decided to do it bar by bar. It was more critical that it was timed exactly the same. Was quite often in LBW, if a singer speeds up, the band can speed up a little. It's not wanted, but it's not so critical where it was in this piece, and that was a new experience for me. So I do wish we'd got to do the final assessment and see how it all planned out. Then going back, we did do the song to get recorded in Rockfield Studios. We were given a songwriter and put into our groups. In mine, there was a bassist, a guitarist, a drummer, two vocalists, and then the songwriter who also jumped on a guitar within this piece. The song was called Love's Got Me Running Away. Really sweet piece. All saying about like don't know if your heart's in it anymore and if you're in a relationship. There was instantly, we didn't listen to the track many times, only once or twice, and we got the general chords he was going with, the finer melody, the structure he'd kind of gone for. He'd had all the lyrics, he had all the ideas there, and then it was more of a group effort and everyone else's interpretation, and then him taking the ideas from us of what he liked, didn't like, so he could make the final decision, and that is how we come up with the final track. There was talk of being able to go forward and put your track to be analysed, whether it should be put on the album the university was going for. So our first problem was our song was 4.5 to nearly 5 minutes long, and it only needs to be maximum about 3.5 minutes for this. So we got rid of the intro. We also shoved the first chorus into 2 lines, and that was how we came in, and the gap between the chorus and the verse was shortened, and then at the end the outro was basically, you wanted a very long fade out, up to 16 bar fade out, so that was cut and it was made short and sweet to 2 full bars, which I actually think had more impact with the song, and the majority of people preferred it when we actually tried it and it was a run through. I think the person who was most against it was the songwriter until he heard it, and then it kind of showed things like always consider other ideas, because like it was put forth by our daughter Jill. We did give it a go and we actually preferred it, and that was very much what this was all about, trial and error to get the track as we wanted it. We decided they wanted more hip-hop-y vibes, so we went with Fiona for vocals so she could put her own quirk on that and get it into more that vibe that he was looking for. Where I decided operatic solos operatic singing more and theatre is what I preferred. He used that, and I actually did like sound effects in operatic harmony sort of style in call and response on the verses. So that was really fun. And then we decided that was a theme we really wanted to bring out more within the piece, call and response. So on the second verse, we decided he wanted to do call and response, bring it back. So you're like, oh yeah, I've heard that before, but we wanted it unique as well. So we did call and response with a different instrument on each line, which really worked. And then for the thickening of it on the responses, we felt that there needed to be another instrument, so we added cello, and it was amazing for the outro. The cello added a lot of depth and really got the sadness of the song to come out more. So then we had this song, we had the structure, we'd all worked together well. We'd spent, I think, about 4 full sessions of 5-6 hours on it, potentially no 5. And before going to the studio, we wanted to make sure we were practicing all at home, because we were told when you get there you need to be able to nail it, and it was only getting there you realise how much that is true with it. And the set was taking longer than thought, so we only actually had 2 run-throughs in the first half of the day for the first recording, and the second recording in the evening we did have a few more run-throughs. We had about 4 or 5 attempts, but I mean, to record a whole song within 1 or 2 attempts is a lot of stress, and it only makes you realise then that how professional you have to be when you go to these studios. You've got to be there, you've got to be done. Most of it's waiting around on the equipment and that to all be set, but once it's done, you've got to be in, perfect shape, out, to get your money's worth, and to be able to have a piece that you're happy with. In this piece, I think the band worked really well. The outcome was amazing. The experience was enjoyable. I think my weakness was I wasn't used to the equipment. I had learned the song and my harmonies. However, getting there, it was only later on we decided to change some bits last minute, the way it was sounding, where there was too much harmony and it was taken away from the melody. So I had to drop out at certain points, and I was sounding a bit loud, so I had to come back a bit just to let that lead bring through. And there was a main problem with pitching. I wasn't used to setting levels, so I was hearing people, I wasn't hearing myself, and there was pitching problems. But once that was sorted, it was all fine, plain sailing, and a great experience. I would say in future I need to spend more time on leveling if I'm going to do recording again. And even though we were practiced, I did know this piece, I still felt that even more rehearsal time could have been put in beforehand. So I think going forth, that's something I'll take forward. It was a new experience within the single writer, and I really liked that, so I'd love to do more original stuff, because I like the fact that even when bits you weren't performing, you could see your ideas going forth. Then I said the third and final unit was a music to picture, which was very much as it sounds. We got given a scene from Kill Bill, which was the fight scene, obviously. It's very Chinese themed, so we wanted Oriental. My band instantly wanted to go Oriental sounding, and they wanted to use, instead of such percussion, which a lot of people do for all the contact and hitting, we decided like a long bass chord for the sword reveal. The beginning was very quiet, and we were just using basically percussion and not going to use mute sound. And there was going to be the constant ebb and flow of the building crescendoing. This was a very different piece. We decided quite early on there wasn't much space for vocal, and being a vocalist, that was a different thing, but still had a lot of input, and I went on to percussion usage instantly, and just put in my ideas of how I think we could make the piece better. Same like a lot of it was talking about dynamics. We thought were the main thing to look at with this piece. The ebb and flow, when the dropping and instant silences for drama, how we were going to crescendo a bass chord rather than just simply pluck it. And it was more the talking that everyone listening and each person putting the design forward. I wasn't there for the final. I was there for the rehearsals. I wasn't there for the final assessment due to illness. I was not very well at all at the time, and was sick, so I couldn't be there for the final assessment. But from this really learned more the teamwork of listen. This unit was very much more about listening to ideas and just being able to make sure everyone's gonna come through. There was a lot of compromise, but to be fair, everyone from the onset was thinking similar ideas, so it was a good unit. Overall, this last term has been a lot more about listening to others, coming from where they're coming from. And I noticed there are some weaknesses in me within my pitching and that, so my vocals do need to be worked on a bit, but as in for actual teamwork, I think come dramatically a long way. My understanding of the music industry has come on leaps and bounds, and can't wait to learn more.